Welcome to Video Maker, the podcast that cuts past the highlight reel and takes you straight into the raw behind-the-scenes stories of creatives and makers. I'm Carly, founder of The Good Vibe Media, a woman-owned and operated video production agency and a creative studio space. Every week on Video Maker, I sit down with filmmakers, creators, and creative entrepreneurs for a deep, honest conversation you don't typically hear. The late nights, the pivots, the breakdowns that shape the breakthroughs. These are the conversations and stories that make people like me and so many other creatives need to hear. This is a space for growth, for lessons, for community, a place where we learn from each other's real, unfiltered journeys. This is Video Maker. Let's get rolling. Welcome back to another episode of Video Maker. I am your host, Carly. I am so excited to dive into this conversation with our guest, Alex. And before we get into it, I'm going to read her bio so I don't butcher any of it because it is beefy, it is beautiful, and I'm just really pumped to have you here on the show today. So thanks for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yay. Alex is the head of brand at Bad Birdie, where she leads brand strategy, creative direction, and community engagement for one of golf's most disruptive apparel brands. With nearly 20 years of experience in marketing, she has built and scaled brands across retail, consumer products, and lifestyle categories, spanning content, influencer marketing, creative leadership, and executive brand management. Prior to Bad Birdie, she served as Senior Vice President of Creative and Community at Diaper, helping shape the brand's storytelling, community, and growth strategy. Alex is also recognized as an early pioneer in influencer marketing, having built a personal audience of more than 1 million followers, and advised brands including Target, Anthropologie, our favorite, and the Home Depot. Named to Retail's Touchpoints 40 Under 40, she is passionate about building purpose-driven brands, mentoring emerging leaders, and helping people navigate periods of personal and professional transformation. Welcome, Alex.
Wow, thanks, Carly.
Oh my gosh, you have, I know a plethora of stories and experience, and I can't wait to kind of rewind the tapes to hear where it all began. But I'm just so inspired by you. I'm so grateful that we were introduced those years ago, and our paths have just crossed in so many different ways, and it's just so awesome. You've been a big inspiration to me in how you show up, not only professionally, but as a mom. And I'm just really grateful that you're here to have this conversation.
Thanks, Carly. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Okay, so like I said before, we're going to do some rapid fire. Let's get warmed up on the mic. Shake it out. Get us warmed up.
Okay.
So these can be short and sweet answers. I just have a handful of rapid fire questions, and then we'll get into the good convo. First one is, what's the first thing that you ever made that you were really proud of?
Carly. Can't say my kids.
Oh,
Can I say my
like
kids?
the best answer.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
really proud of my two children.
Yes.
Professionally, I think my big moment that I had was like, wow, that was so cool, was I think a bedroom makeover I did.
Okay.
That just kind of went viral.
That's awesome.
That was
Wait,
huge.
can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it was, at the beginning when all these bedroom makeovers were kind of happening on Pinterest. And remember when like the boho phase really hit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was subscribed to all the boho.
Yeah, a little bit in here sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, this was right on the forefront of that, and I wanted to redo my master bedroom, and so I started working with a couple different brands, Anthropologie being one of them, and we made over my bedroom, and it had the teal wall. I don't know if you remember, like there was a teal wall accent wall thing that happened. It was because of my bedroom, and it went viral. So
that's where the magic happens.
Yes.
This is
So
what they say.
it ended up being like, it was in like, not in style, no, L decor.
Yes.
And all the design blogs like Design Sponge when that was a thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I think I just chased the high since then.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to dive into more of this conversation because you were coined the Pinterest queen.
Yeah. I don't know
So
how I feel about that.
I don't know, but it's honestly, it's something I find myself even now today, like Pinterest is kind of where I get my dopamine hit, you know?
Mm.
Like I like scrolling because I like being inspired on spaces and visuals, and that's what inspires me almost more than Instagram now these days. So we'll dive into more of that in just a minute.
Okay, rapid
Um,
fire. That's right. Faster.
faster. I know, it's hard to do. Okay, what is one marketing trend that you're loving at the moment?
Hope core.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me about it.
Hope core is trending right now where people, to your point, are wanting to feel more inspired on a deeper level, more authenticity. We're seeing this really extreme um, world of aesthetics and curation again,
Mhm.
which that had kind of fallen away. And then we also saw a lot of that unmasking and vulnerability that happened on social media a couple of years ago and that vulnerability movement. But we're seeing the pendulum quickly swing right to left, and I think we're coming back to the center where people just want to hear inspiring, real stories that remind them that things are possible.
Yes.
Hope is so powerful.
Yes. Through
So,
human
yes, we're
stories.
human stories.
Yes. We
Yes.
need that. Gosh, I know I crave that more than
Oh,
anything too.
chills.
I know, me too. Okay, we're gonna dive into that more for sure. Here's a quick one. What's your go-to coffee order?
I'm into cappuccinos these days.
Ooh.
Really foamy
Ooh, I love it.
and real milk.
Yes. Give me the real stuff.
Yes.
Okay, what's one brand that you're currently obsessed with?
Nude Project.
Mm.
They are so cool. They're just true artists running a brand. Every time they launch something, it's so unique. Like they just launched a pop-up in Europe that has different flavors of cheese, like a cheesecake collaboration, but they're a clothing brand. But they made it a moment, and the colors of the cheesecake go with the clothing. And so it's this sensory experience, and the ooey gooey cheesecake with like this buttery yellow or this pistachio green. And then you can go and get these exclusive flavors of cheesecake in that store. And then the way they roll things out, they just decided instead of using all these cameras to just hand over uh just film cameras and go back to that time in the 90s
Mhm.
and say, "Hey, here's all the clothes from this latest drop. Go on a trip and go make a campaign and then we'll just launch whatever you make."
Okay, this is so
Why don't we just do that? I would love to,
oh my gosh.
just
Totally.
empower people to go create.
Yeah.
And then it's just cool. I don't know.
Mhm.
New project. Check it
Mm.
out.
I love that. So, so good. Where do you feel most creative?
I feel most creative when I'm alone in quiet in the early hours in the morning when things are still and I can hear the birds chirping and it's the dawn and I can just write and
Mhm.
I feel centered.
Mhm.
No chaos of the day, no thoughts running through my head of the day before. It's just a brand new day and the creative slate is clean.
Yeah.
So I thought I would always be someone that wants collaboration, but I think it gets too noisy for me sometimes. And then it turns into kind of like in the Creative Act, Rick Rubin's book, where he said the second that you make something for a profit or for people to see it, it no longer is art.
Yeah.
It's something to consume. So I think true art is when you're doing it for an audience of one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is why you come to the table in the most beautiful collaborations
That's true.
because you have that awareness and that self artistic form, you know?
That's true.
So, yeah, it's so good. I can relate to that big time. Who is someone you would drop everything to collaborate with and why?
We're dreaming big
Dream
here.
big, baby.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm gonna go really big. I would like to write a film and make a film. And I would want to work with um like Emily Blunt or Anne Hathaway or women who are committed to unearthing really raw and important stories and creating powerful moments for women on screen. I would want to collaborate on a film or
Mm.
in a screenplay.
Love that.
Yeah.
If you need some cam operators, just let us know.
First call.
Yeah, let's go.
Maybe we do this like A24 style and we just
Yeah,
go lo-fi and like
let's
we just go do
go.
it.
Hey, I am so down. Okay, something's brewing here. You heard it first.
I mean, it's happening right now in the film world.
Yes, truly. Okay, I love this. Now, if your professional journey had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh no. So one of like, like I'm a 10, but I'm this, like I can't remember names of songs or artists. If you
You can sing
play
it.
uh
We can search it up,
I don't even,
dub
yeah.
it in.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
have an
circle back.
answer.
We're gonna find the answer to that, and then
Okay.
we'll dub it in. Just a quick little lyric
Sounds good.
drop. Okay, last question. What is one thing about your creative process that people might be surprised to know?
Hmm. My creative process. I think I don't know if they would be surprised by this, but I'll just share it. My creative process is doing something every single day, not carving out a trip or a full day or something like that. It's 20 to 30 minutes of me time in the morning to be creative. So it's just putting it on paper. And something that I think other people do this, but sometimes when I'm getting too perfectionistic over writing, because for me, writing is it right now. So when I'm getting to that point, I stop writing or I stop typing and I just dictate. And I record my voice and I record audio recordings for myself.
Yeah.
And then I'll dump that into something because I find myself being a little more unfiltered that way.
Yes.
So then I can come back to it at a later time. But I do it every single day.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of days there's nothing that's too, you know, earth shattering.
Yeah.
But there's like usually a week at a time, there's like that one nugget that's like, that's a good one.
Or maybe it's a little seed that is planted that
Yeah.
blossoms into something so much bigger, grander down the line, like in a week or two. So that's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. So what does that look like for you? Are you setting an early alarm? You have 2 kids, so life is very full for you.
Yes. I'm a 4:30 a.m.er.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go girl.
Yeah. I'm
So what time
that.
do you go to sleep?
I go to sleep at 8:30.
Yep.
And it took me a while to switch my mentality because I used to think that once the kids went down, it it's me time.
Right.
But I realized like that's not when my brain is best.
Mhm.
So I started changing my patterns to optimize for my brain. And I wake up, I go to the gym, and then I have a minute, and then my kids get up,
Yes.
or I'll just skip the gym and just devote my creative time to that moment, and then I'll work out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, let's rewind the tapes a little bit because I want to hear a little more your backstory of like when you first found that creative spark, and how you dove into really accomplishing so much in this industry thus far. So what did that
That's a
first
big
creative
question.
yeah, creative spark, like when you can think back, like where did that all begin for you?
I think it I think it begins early in most
Mhm.
people. I think everybody's creative, by the way.
Yes.
But for me, I can remember I'm an only child, and my parents are scientists, and they're very accomplished scientists. So everything in their world is very matter of fact and research driven. And I always felt like I could never relate to that. And I felt a lot of pressure too. Being an only child, you feel so much pressure. People don't get it. Like it's not all indulgence. It's actually really hard sometimes, depending on your parents. So for me, creativity became an escape from the pressure
Yeah.
to dream and think about things and like kind of leave whatever I was in and be somewhere else.
Yes.
So but I really remember it hitting me, my love of fashion, and kind of what started my journey was I was in 7th grade in that awkward time where you don't feel good in your body. And I was from Wisconsin and I moved to Houston, Texas, and I didn't have any friends.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom said, well, do you want to come to the mall with me? And I walked into the store I'd never been in before called Neiman Marcus.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember walking in and like, you ever walk into one of those department stores and like the waft of the
Oh
perfumes,
yeah.
leather and like it's on that floor. And I was like, oh, this is intoxicating. And then there it was. It was this Kate Spade bag. It
Oh
was
my
when Kate
gosh.
Spade first went on the market. And it was like this giraffe print handbag with this red silk lining. And I thought it was so cool. And I'd
Yeah.
never seen anything like it. And then I was hooked.
Cooked. Yep.
Yeah.
So good. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, that I could definitely relate to that feeling for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when before you had kids, what were some of your first like big creative endeavors
Mm.
professionally?
So I think the biggest thing was when I graduated. So but fashion bug,
Yeah.
ended up going to a fine arts school
Yep.
in high school that you had to audition to. It's actually the sister school to LaGuardia, which is in Fame. It's called HSBVA. I auditioned and I was doing music at the time.
Okay.
And that was a big deal. I thought I wanted to be a professional clarinetist.
Mm.
And I was really into it. I was actually all state, all city.
Mm.
This was going to be my life. But when that fashion thing happened, I thought, I don't know if I want to be alone in practice room all the time.
Yeah.
And that's when I started exploring art and design. And so I knew I wanted to go to Parsons, but I remember having this conversation with my parents. No, you're going to go get a business degree. We'll make a deal with you. If you go to get a business degree, we'll help you pay for your master's degree and get an MFA or something like that. So I thought, okay, I'll take the deal. I'll
Yeah.
go. What's the cheapest out of state school I can go to? Because I didn't want to be in Texas,
Yeah.
and it was ASU.
Oh my gosh.
So I just said, okay, I'm gonna go to ASU.
Yep.
I'll get this business degree, and then I'll go into fashion.
Yeah.
But that's not how life works. Whenever you have a plan, it's never gonna go that way.
True.
And I ended up getting married and all this other stuff. I know, crazy. But then when I was in this, I graduated with PR and communications,
Mhm.
and I hated the job. And then I thought, oh no, Alex, you're losing that moment. You need to go back into fashion. Well, that's when the economy tanked and like the housing crisis happened. So I did what normal people do, and I just started a business at the worst time in the economy. That's when everyone picked up a DSLR camera.
Exactly.
That's what happened. So
Yeah.
when
Opportunity.
exactly, macroeconomic conditions have impacts especially on small businesses, and everyone decided to pick up a DSLR camera or start a side hustle,
Yep.
for better, for worse.
Mhm.
Here we are now, years later, right? But that's when I thought, well, I'm going to start a blog, and I want to do this. I don't know how to get there. I can't move and go to California and New York,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean that is a no for me. I'm just going to do it because I love it.
Mhm.
And then I started a styling business. And because in styling, no one, you don't go to school for that. You just say
Right.
you are one and you just fake it till you make it. And I thought, well, I'm just going to organize closets and do it. And then I'm going to do photo shoots with my friends and say, hey, this is before collab was a thing. Like, hey, do you want to do a photo shoot?
Yep.
And then I just started making up stuff and borrowing clothes from people. And I started a third job as a dresser at a modeling agency.
Yes.
And just doing whatever I could to be immersed in my passion.
Yes.
So that was what I was doing before kids. I was working 3 jobs, but it's like at the time when you can and you're hungry,
Yes.
and it's not who's good, who's best, it's who wants it more.
Mhm.
And I wanted it. I did not want to be at a desk. I was like, no, I cannot. I will be depressed and hate my life. I have to make this work. I was so hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So was Pinterest the platform that you really built? I mean, you were building such a
Yeah.
powerful brand, at that point. I'm sure there were influences of your PR, communications, all that studies that you did that really gave you
Yeah.
the leverage to find success with that. But I'm curious, was Pinterest like the platform that really took off? What did that look like?
Yeah, because, well, at the time, There was Twitter
Mhm.
and there was Facebook. Instagram was still a newer thing, so that
Mhm.
wasn't really an option.
You had, like, 4 filters on
Yeah.
Instagram. No video came of yeah,
Yeah.
we all remember.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember going to a blogs.
Okay.
Blogs were the thing.
Yep.
And Blogspot, and I had a WordPress blog. And I remember going to a blogging conference with my friend Promise, who her job, I was working another job, by the way, as a project manager for graphic designer, and we traded.
Okay.
I said, you make me a brand and I'll do all your project management.
Yes.
And she's like, okay, do you want to go to this conference with me and learn about blogging? And I said, yeah, I do. And it's called Alt Summit. And so I go there and there's all these women blogging about their lives. And this one dude, and his name was Ben, and he's like, hey, and he handed me a business card. He's like, you should try my app. And it was Pinterest.
Oh my
And I was like, okay. And so I left the conference, and you have all these business cards and you're going through and you're following up. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try this. And what I saw was opportunity because as a stylist, I was bringing stacks of magazines to sessions
Mhm.
to try to understand people's style and their aspiration. Well, Pinterest was that. But when you join Pinterest, there was nothing in your feed, it was empty.
Yeah.
So I had to add things from different websites, like a bookmarking tool, to give my clients options. So I started using it like crazy
Yeah.
because I didn't want to carry all this stuff anymore. And I was like, oh, we could do this virtually. So I just saw an opportunity of efficiency.
Mhm.
Fast forward, I get this email from Ben that said, hey, I see you're using this tool a lot. I like what you're doing. Um, do you want to help me curate a spring trends board? And I was like, me? I'm not even legit. Like, I don't, sure. I thought it was so cool that he thought whatever my taste was good. And
Mhm.
so I did it. And all of a sudden it was like, I woke up one day and my inbox was just stuffed with so and so followed you, so and so followed you, so and
Oh
so
my
followed
gosh.
you. And I was like, what is happening? And I remember going to like a young couples Bible study that day later on. And I was like, hey, I don't know what this means, but I have like 500,000 followers all of a sudden on this thing. And they're like, that's crazy. And then never thought about it again for a while. It's just this weird fact that I had like hundreds of thousand people following me, but then I didn't think about monetizing it at all. It's
Yep.
just like, yeah, all I was doing was using it for clients.
Right.
That's how I made money.
Yes.
There was no affiliate marketing yet.
No. Well, and also that's just like proof in the pudding that it is so important to find those rooms to get into
Yeah.
because more so than like learning and gathering more information, it's also a network. You never know who you're going to meet and how that could catapult the next path that you're going to take.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
such a good lesson.
Yeah, that's something that even, as you go further in your career or whatever it is that you're doing, and the more busy you get or distracted you get, having kids, all that, it's like really important to prioritize that. Find the rooms that almost make you feel a little uncomfortable because you don't know, whatever the topic is or who's going to be there. But those are always where there's massive opportunity for big growth.
But you have to follow up. I think
You
that
gotta follow
that's
up.
the thing that I see in younger generations is just, yes, they'll shake the hand and they'll have the conversation, they'll be in the room,
Mm.
but it's the diligence thereafter of
Mhm.
just following up and just being proactive. Like, I loved me, or immediately after, hey, we just met. I was that person in that crazy hat, or I
Yeah.
was wearing that orange shirt. I would love to set up a virtual coffee or here's some ideas, and just being also offering value within your being quick to support and offer something, not in a clickbaity way,
Mhm.
but in a way that just shows good faith
Yeah.
that you are trying to truly support somebody and not just trying to get what you want out.
Truly. And having that authentic passion
Yes.
too for that craft that
Yeah.
you are doing. Okay, I know we were winding the tapes, but I want to fast forward and then we'll,
Okay.
get through all the meaty middle too, because you are currently at Bad Birdie.
Yeah.
And Bad Birdie is a brand that, especially as a video team, like for the last handful of years, we've always been inspired by their content because
Yeah.
they truly are disruptors in an industry of golf,
Mhm.
and they're iconic that way.
I know.
So I just I'm excited to hear how your transition into starting at Bad Birdie was, and was there anything when you got the job at Bad Birdie? Tell me about the brand that was and the opportunities that you saw stepping into your role that you have today.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know it's a
Great
good one.
questions. Well, so the interesting thing was I was transitioning out of my role at Diaper, and I had decided, I don't know, I think I want to go on my own. I want to do consulting
Mhm.
out of that experience. I think I miss running my own business maybe. But I tried to stay open, and someone from Bad Birdie reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you be interested?" I'm like, "I'm not a golfer.
Yeah.
What? No." I said, "No." They said, "No, you should just interview." I was like, "Gosh, yeah, that's true." My mom always told me you should always interview and practice interviewing. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, take the meeting.
Yeah.
Don't say no. So I said, okay, I can always change my mind. It was the mantra that I had in that season.
Mhm.
I'll be curious and I can always change my mind. So I took the meeting and I said, well, you know, I met Jason actually first meeting. Uh, and it was surprisingly like, oh, I kind of like, he's kind of cool. And this is interesting, like where the brand is. And I didn't know anything about golf. I didn't know what he had done. I didn't know about Shark Tank. I didn't know nothing,
Yeah.
zero. I was totally agnostic,
Mhm.
which then I realized is a superpower. It's kind of like I describe my time like Ted Lasso, if you've seen the
Yeah.
show. He's this um, football coach, and
Uh-huh.
then he gets called to coach a soccer team in
Yeah.
the UK, a sport he knows nothing about, but he knows coaching.
Mhm.
I know brand, I don't know anything about golf.
Mhm.
So when I realized what he needed wasn't he didn't need me to come with all the creative ideas. He didn't need me to come with perspective on golf.
Mhm.
He didn't need me to even have the best ideas of anything. He just wanted someone that was a really good brand operator and that could lead a team and that could set a foundation because he had been on like a ride that company exploded.
Totally.
He's just been riding that wave.
Yeah.
And so I came into a team of 10,
Okay.
and it was a creative team and a marketing team in one.
Yeah.
And there was no brand guidelines really. There was they were just posting on social the day of,
Yeah.
no
Oh
plan.
my gosh.
It was wild. I was like, and also this is really impressive.
Yeah.
They were going on shoots that week and then turning the content so fast and getting it up online, which I think is an advantage and
Mhm.
amazing, but also can be chaotic. They were all, I would say, really young too.
Yeah.
So you have such passion, but you might not have like the realization like maybe some of this could be easier.
Yeah.
So efficiencies. And there was no brand benchmarking because they didn't need to,
Mhm.
because they had already found success. I think sometimes there's a time in a business where marketing is necessary or strategy. It's okay. I think Bradbury is such an example of if you have like a good, at least solid foundation of a brand or a why, you can just run and you can figure it out as you go.
Yeah. Build a plane as you're flying it, so they
Exactly.
say.
So
Yeah.
I kinda went in there and the plane had been flying and probably just, like, on, like, a
More like a rocket
quarter
ship.
yeah. It's definitely a rocket ship. And I think everyone was kind of feeling it. So I think the biggest challenge was coming into a company I was already on a ride
Yeah.
and having to rebuild a rocket ship
Mm.
that can last the journey,
Yes.
because now we're at a place where we're scaling, but we're here to stay. And we already achieved, like, he already has achieved what he sought to do, which
Mm.
was to challenge the status quo
Mhm.
and to offer something new to golf
Yes.
and to give people permission to come as they are and to be bold and to not take the game so seriously. Mission accomplished.
Mission.
So now what do you do?
Yep.
And now there's all these brands and now it's super competitive and now golf is like so huge.
Mhm.
That's what I was stepping into.
Mhm.
It's very intimidating.
That is such a freaking cool story,
Yeah.
though, and to see the evolution too, because now how long have you been with Bad
A
Birdie?
year and a half now.
Okay, awesome, and what have you seen so much has changed, like you
So much.
said. What do you think the biggest shift has been, and where do you see the next couple of years going within?
Yeah. So one of the coolest things and why marketing truly is a science and also an art is, as you mentioned, Bad Birdie has amazing content and production and all that and style, and no one would ever argue that. But I think what was missing was the North Star to keep them on the straight and narrow when you're now an omni-channel brand and in Dick's Sporting Goods and Golf Galaxy, like how all these new customers are coming and they're like, who's Bad Birdie? What does that mean?
Mhm.
And so I think the biggest shift has been establishing a North Star of like, no, we are here to make golf fun for anyone that wants to play,
Yeah,
period. That's the vision.
yeah,
And to be able to articulate that and have everyone in the organization say it.
yeah.
And I think the other thing is we thought we kept thinking, and we do this for ourselves. We think something, a narrative, and we keep playing the narrative over, and it can sometimes stunt our growth or get in the way. So the narrative was, we need to grow our brand awareness. People don't know who Bad Birdie is.
Mhm.
We kept thinking that.
Yeah.
I was like, but do you know that is true? Like, is that your opinion? Like, we don't know until we test.
Right.
So I did some consumer insight research with our CRM, and then I did a big brand tracker survey. Because when you're in one of the largest sporting good retailers in America, a lot of people could know who you are, and you're not getting the data.
Yeah.
Turns out we do not have a brand awareness problem. People definitely know who Bad Birdie is.
Yes.
And it was so rewarding to show them, like, hey, you did a really great job. Everybody does know who you
Yeah.
are. You have like 30% market penetration. Um, the problem isn't awareness. The problem is that people don't trust your brand.
Mm.
The people don't think that Bad Birdie's quality, but we're at a price point of premium. So how do you address the narrative that no, we're a fun brand, but we're also quality? So
Yes.
now all of our marketing and like how we've pivoted isn't really trying to just grab attention anymore, which is what
Yeah.
we were doing as a young business.
Yep.
It's now showing the customer, no, we're not just that polo brand you buy when you're going on a golf trip.
Totally.
We're a polo brand that you buy every time to refresh your polos because we have really great performance too.
Yes.
And we make quality golf apparel. We're not a lifestyle brand either. And
Yes.
so to kind of like define that brand more and to not throw money into awareness when we needed to throw money into more of that consideration, storytelling around the product and education.
Yeah, that is so, so powerful. I'm curious, like, now knowing that information,
Yeah.
what are some areas that you are really leaning into more?
Yeah.
Like, how, from a creative standpoint, because, like, yes, I always know of the brand Birdie as that flashy brand, because it's like where
Yeah.
we got so many trends and inspiration for, like, oh, we should make a video like this. We should,
Yeah.
because it is so attention
Yeah.
grabbing. But now knowing that, where are you guys putting your energy in that creative, department?
So with creative in particular, I think we're just starting with the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So there was, like I mentioned before, there was nothing that was articulated of like this is our style guide. So actually where we're first starting is our e-commerce experience with PDPs. So just like in a studio like this, what is our style? Because I think most of probably people listening know that that idea of like taking a model and clipping the model out and putting it on a stark white backdrop now feels quote AI.
Mhm.
So how do you create depth and emotion and elevate a very simple e-commerce experience? So that's where we're starting.
Cool.
I think another thing that we already know we have the cool drop thing down.
Yeah.
We're not starting there. It's just keeping new ideas fresh.
Yeah.
Now it's also how do you, if you have a quality perception gap around quality or trust, it's maybe shifting more marketing dollars into credible voices within the golf community, or like Bad Birdie never had a PR function before, and trying to tell more of a corporate story around the amazing thing that Jason has done, growing this brand, the amazing stories around product development, and telling journalists to tell that story. So that's where I've actually, because that's the other part of my team is brand marketing. So it's just getting I think in apparel, it can just be energy drop, energy drop, energy drop. But consumers are becoming smarter and smarter, and they actually don't care about newness anymore. They
Mhm.
care about longevity of a brand and the deeper roots of a brand.
Yep.
But no one really knew the values of the brand. So that's where I'm spending my time, is actually more on PR or influencers, or now we're also redoing our athlete strategy too, of like, who is that ideal archetype for the brand
Yeah.
that can represent us in culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So that's what's coming.
That's huge. There's one more question on here that I wanted to touch on because I'm like, we're riffing so well, but I want to make sure I don't before we transition on to the next one. Actually, this is a good one. And this can relate to Bad Birdie or any other, brand or
Yeah.
position you've been in or project you've done. But what is one brand decision that you've made that felt risky in the moment, but really ended up paying off?
Hmm. I think in my previous role at Diaper, it was really, so context in the diaper space, it's pretty much a duopoly between Huggies and Pampers.
Yeah.
So there are now a lot more diaper options, which is great for moms and dads. But at the time, the idea of a sustainable diaper was not so well received, because at the end of the day, you need a diaper to work, and you don't want to buy something, even though you care about the environment, you care more about your sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Truth.
So I think that I was so excited to come into a brand that had a passion for the environment and parents.
Yeah.
And they found a way to compost diapers, which was really cool because it's like the third largest contributor to waste in the world, which was wild. And
Wild.
two plastic bottles of plastic per diaper in most typical diapers.
Insane.
So I think the biggest risk was really this idea of what is premium in a diaper space, and is there a market for ultimate premium diapers? And we went full blown into this. We designed these boxes that looked like it was like a Mac computer
Yep.
coming out of it
Yep.
with these diapers. You were
Yep.
here.
Oh, yeah.
We shot them here. Um, and
And
they
the
were,
charcoal diapers, honestly, because it was when my son was born, I was
yeah.
like, "I'm getting the charcoal
Yeah.
diaper. Those are badass." They're
Yeah.
like Calvin Klein,
Yeah.
like,
They're
undies.
black
Yeah.
they were black charcoal diapers, which charcoal
Listen.
is an active ingredient in odor.
Yeah.
But no one had ever designed like a diaper that looked sleek
Yeah.
and was black. And we thought, are parents gonna want a black diaper? But the inside was white, so you
Yep.
could tell.
Mhm.
And sure enough, that thing just sold out immediately. Like Target, we launched in Target. We doubled down on this premium experience. And it was, I mean, y'all, the box of diapers was really expensive.
Yeah. Well, it
But
looked expensive.
but people saw it as, oh my gosh, if I could have that, it is like this elite moment, and like the unboxing experience and everything. We just went full blown into branding and packaging, and it really paid off.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
So I would say that was a risk that probably, if I'm really honest, as a parent, I probably couldn't have afforded it or bought it. So there was a part of me that was a bit disconnected, but from a marketing and branding standpoint, I was like stoked to go full blown.
Take
Like,
the risk.
yeah,
See what happens.
yeah, make a luxury diaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I want to talk a little bit about your leadership style because you have worked with so many different teams in startup agencies and large organizations. So, how has your leadership style evolved over the years?
That's such a good question, because I would say if I was going to pick one challenge in the past year, it's been more on the people side and management.
Yeah.
Um, we as a collective human experience have gone through so much, and I think expectations of generations are very different between millennial, elder millennial, even to Gen Z, to now future generations in Gen Alpha. And I would say a year and a half ago that my leadership style was very much more of like a player coach, like being more of a servant leader, of like being in the weeds. And I needed to know the experience of every person on my team and know how to do everything so that I could empathize with their experience. And
Right.
I think a lesson that I learned, though, I think that that's very admirable, and I look at that other version of myself as like I see where my heart is. It is not sustainable to lead that way. And I think it's also really important with the differences between Gen Z, what I've learned, and millennial is you that grit or like, yeah, I girl boss way too hard.
Mhm.
So I'm working on boundaries. Yeah. But I think that there is a bit of a gap with Gen Z where they went through so much during COVID
Yeah.
that the resilience is harder and they need to know more steps as to why. And there's a bit of an education gap on some things, especially when it comes to professional and corporate environments. And there's this big um, demand for autonomy. But the reality is like, I can't always stop to tell you the why.
Right.
And I can't, you, you need to have a self-starter attitude.
Right.
And that means I need to let go and not help.
Yep.
And that has been really challenging. So I'd say my leadership style needs to evolve to being um, more top down
Mm.
and more hands off to allow people to rise to the challenge and earn more um tool like gain more skills around resilience and grit and tenacity.
Yeah.
We need to meet each other a little bit more between generations, because I think it's becoming a big management issue.
For sure.
And then also just I work I worked I mean transparently I have worked most weekends in the past year and a half as a leader of a brand that's truly competitive. I don't know how you can't.
Mhm.
It's not to say that I am bad at work-life balance. It's just when you choose to work at a company that is on a rocket ship,
Yeah.
you choose that.
Yep.
And if you don't want to do that, don't choose the rocket ship.
Correct.
And I will not apologize for the asks of what we need to do to grow and compete because I am responsible for putting roofs over people's heads.
Yes.
And I take it so seriously. So I think my style is also like work hard, play hard too. And that sounds so old school. I feel so old when I say that.
I feel you though.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jim Collins, I've come back to his stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Like the Good to Great or and they say you can teach people skills, but you cannot teach people motivation.
Right.
And if they don't have it within them, you need to make a change.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a hard lesson.
For sure. For sure. Do you feel like in society too, there's a lot of external factors that kind of give the idea of the instant gratification?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do. I think that
They see the shiny object and they're like, ah,
I think
it's
I think they see freedom.
yeah.
And it's like a lot of social media and even like owning your own business, people look at it as freedom. And I think there's truth to that.
Yeah.
But as you know, you are wearing every single hat and you're constantly thinking about it. And if you don't work, you don't make money. So it's a direct correlation of your effort.
Mhm.
And I think for me, when I went from running my own business into the corporate setting, that was interesting to me because I thought I had failed as a business owner. But when I got into the corporate setting, I realized, oh, whoa, to be salaried and to have health benefits and to show up and do a skill set
Mhm.
and then to be able to leave that there and to go home and choose to be creative or choose to do something in my business, that was a freedom that I had taken for granted in my early career days. And I realized, oh, wow, no, I don't think my brain has really stopped until this corporate moment because running a business is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm seeing right now, what I'm working on with my team is I'm going to meet them through their need for transparency. That's something that Gen Z needs because of our world and because of what they see.
Right.
And I will meet them there. That's valid.
Yeah.
But they need to meet me in ownership
Mhm.
and just extreme ownership and self-starting mentality.
Yep.
So that's where I think the gap, if we can merge those two together in generations, I think
Yeah.
that will be okay.
Oh, what do you feel like is a misconception that people have about working in brand leadership?
Oh,
Mm.
I think that I think that, oh, there's a lot of misconceptions.
Mhm.
Um, they look at brand as like the fun job,
Yeah.
that it's not as hard as like e-commerce.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is a lot of e-commerce roles, you have paid media agencies that you manage, and it's a lot of, you're running. It's hard too. You're directly tied to sales and customer acquisition costs and things like that, or your margins. But with brand, it's hard to measure, so you're constantly having to show proof that you matter. And it is hard sometimes because most CEOs, especially founder CEOs, want to see the needle move, and they want to know how this really expensive thing that drives your OpEx up is actually translating into sales.
Mhm.
And it's a long game because you're not going to see a direct correlation. You might not see it for 6 months.
Yep.
And in a brand tracking survey, now that we do every month, you really measure brand quarterly. You don't even measure it monthly
Yeah.
because it really takes that long, and it takes a consumer, what, up to 10 times sometimes before they purchase something. So
Mhm.
you really need to be patient with it. And I think that's really hard in a growing business where money is so precious, especially if you, like, Bad Birdie doesn't have any private equity
Yeah.
behind it. So we're really bootstrapped, just like, every small business owner, but Jason just grew it to be what it is today, which is insane.
Yeah.
It's truly an incredible entrepreneurship story, but like, brand is so hard because you are constantly hustling to prove your value.
Right. Right.
It's and yes, you get to do the quote sexy things of partnerships
Mhm.
with cool brands like Taco Bell or photo shoots or things. But as you know,
Uh-huh.
photo shoots are not that sexy. It is physical labor,
Oh, yeah.
late nights, like details, getting on your hands and knees, steaming stuff. It
Yes.
takes like a village to make that one shot.
Yeah.
And if you miss the moment, you can't go back and get it.
Nope.
It's so hard.
Oh, for sure.
And then you finally get all the content, and then you have to figure out the right way to drop it and the way that people will consume it. And then it's like, do it again.
Mhm.
Oh, you did it that well that time, then do it like that every time.
Totally.
And you can't chase virality. It's just,
Yeah.
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
I'm really happy you brought light to that. 'Cause there's
yes,
so much
you do
truth.
really hard work.
Yes. Okay, I want to switch gears over to talking more around community and conversion. What's an example of a community activation that really exceeded your expectations?
Hmm. I think there was one, so a year ago, it was a women's golf day.
Yeah.
And so a year ago, golf still like now it's like some increase of like 43% increase in women joining golf, I think was the last survey that was done. But last year even we didn't see that many. So it's a rapid growth right now. But we showed up to this golf course called Dodson Ranch, great golf course, super fun. And we brought our van with us and we sponsored the event, just wanting to show support to the ladies out there.
Yeah.
Holy moly. It ended up, there were just so many women who were psyched to show up to an event to celebrate women in golf.
Oh, yeah.
The word had gotten out. Everyone decided to bring their friends. It was just like a mob of women, and we were the only van there with merch, which was insane. We had an amazing sales day, but also we put a microphone out and we just asked women, why do you golf? Or how did you
Mm.
start golfing?
Yeah.
So many women wanted to tell their story.
Yeah.
Isn't the same reason for men. It's power for women. Women want opportunity. They
Yep.
want power.
Yep.
They want connection.
Yep.
And that one simple video of just a mic like this
Mhm.
and a camera on some sticks ended up being in our top 3 videos of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it was because it was uniting people over a very real emotional need
Yes.
for women to connect and giving them the microphone.
Yep.
Women want to be seen and they want to be heard, especially in golf, because they're so underrepresented.
For sure.
Mm.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
this is really
I'll have
cool.
to tap back and watch that video.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
For sure, please do. Okay, this kind of piggybacks off of that. When do you know that a brand has reached true cultural relevance?
I think a test of true cultural relevance or when a brand is just working on its own is when you can turn all your paid ads off and people still come and buy it.
Yes.
When you turn off all your spend
Yep.
and the brand is strong enough for it, just keeps going.
Yeah. What brands are doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Um, well, I think J. Crew, for example, is a brand that now you're starting to see them more, but I remember that was one of the first companies I worked for as a college student.
Yeah.
They never ran a TV commercial
Yeah.
back then when Jenna Lyons was doing it.
Okay.
They never ran a TV commercial at all. You didn't even see too many ads. You would see maybe out of home, like billboards here and there, not even that, just like maybe, on the sidewalks of things, but they had a catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And that brand exploded, and there was still social media back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now you're seeing this resurgence of J. Crew again. But if you notice, they're just going back to the playbook that they were doing.
Yep.
They're showing the classic Americana, the lo-fi feels, and they just launched a campaign that was all about summer camp.
Yeah.
And yes, they are doing some paid media around it just to get visibility, but they're not doing too much around sales or, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like they're a brand that I'm looking at a lot now, even for inspiration again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit more on influencer marketing, kind of then versus now.
Yeah.
It's different. Because you were involved in influencer marketing long before it became a billion-dollar industry.
Mhm.
What did everyone get wrong about it back then?
About back then. Mm.
Or what are some brands that are getting wrong about influencer marketing now? Kind of the then versus now type.
I think, okay. So influencer marketing back then, I think it really started with sponsored blog posts is really the first influencer,
Yeah.
more than Instagram. And I think that what they got right about it was they sent a product and they let people give an honest review on it. So people trusted it. I think what we ended up getting really wrong was then certain influencers got the microphone more than the others. And there was this kind of not monopoly, but you only heard from certain voices. It's really hard to hear from other people.
Right.
And so there's extreme influence, like me being one of them. So
Yeah.
at the time, feeds were chronological. So when you shared something, it went to a million people. So when I would pin a J. Crew shirt with an affiliate link, it went to all those people that follow me. And I made so much money.
Yeah.
Well, they fixed that with an algorithm, but now it's back to that again, where now it's just like a gamification of algorithm and just trying to trick things. And so I think what we're getting wrong is like we're constantly as brands and as people, and why I don't post really on social media anymore. It's like, oh, did you use the trending sound? And what's the hook? It's
Right.
like, I don't want to engineer something to hook you in to eat it or whatever.
Yep.
I consume it. I just want to be able to come on here and say what I want to say and hope that it helps somebody. And I feel as though I can't do that anymore because it's just judgment. And I just get the ick. And so I think as on the brand side, the campaigns we're doing are mostly just giving someone a polo or a hat and just go play golf and then rolling camera.
Yeah.
Because the second that they start talking about the product,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel good anymore.
Right.
And at the same time, I do still need, like, actual product reviews, like,
Right.
that still is valid.
Yes.
I just don't wanna do it in the really gross, like, weird hook
Totally.
way.
Yeah, because everyone feels right through it, sees right through
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
100%. This piggybacks off of this too. You could because you've experienced both the creator and the executive hiring the creators.
Mm.
How has that dual perspective shaped the partnerships that you pursue?
Mm. It's hard because so
Yeah.
many of my friends are creators too, and I wanna respect all sides, and I've also been on the influencer agency side.
Right.
Um, I I think we're overvaluing influencer creative, if I'm honest.
Mm.
I make content all the time. Not and I mean, like, we get camera and we do the studio. I know
Right.
what goes into content creation.
Right.
I know how long it takes you to edit that video,
Yeah.
and I know that I cannot be charged anymore for your following because I know that it's not even guaranteed.
Right.
And I think that we are now it's like, "Oh, well, you want a carousel, that's 6 images, that's"
Mhm.
and I mean, for someone with 30,000 followers, they're charging upwards of, like, $1,000 for a post,
Wow.
and that's not actually that much to some,
Yeah.
and we are seeing this huge spectrum, and that's where sometimes where I'm like, "I someone needs to regulate this, or I don't know what's going on here."
Yeah.
So it is really hard from a business standpoint to even show to a CEO of like, yeah, we spend $15,000 a month in influencer marketing and we got XYZ. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I do need top funnel activity and I need credibility.
Yeah.
So it is a challenge for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably it's really difficult.
For
As
sure.
from the creator side, uh I don't like being in it. I don't like it anymore.
Mm.
I got burned out.
Mhm.
I I think also having kids and putting them in front of the camera and my body and my life and monetizing it, I realize I don't like that. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But then when things got hard in my life, I felt like I had um, this audience I needed to serve. And I was this consumable thing. And I just really didn't like that.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to share to help people.
Yeah. Which you are doing. I want to talk a bit about your Substack
Yeah.
and because you are sharing, you are creating
Yeah.
content, and you are connecting with people in such a powerful way because of your heart and
Mhm.
how you create and what you put out. So tell me a little bit about Substack. What motivated you to, start this new channel
Yeah.
and where it's going?
So I wrote a book about my journey going through divorce and being a single mom, and kind of it's more of a story of just becoming myself
Yeah.
and like a coming of age story in my 30s. And I wrote it at the time when people didn't really talk about divorce. Now it's a huge topic and people are talking about it all the time, which is great. But I sat on the book for a while because one, I was worried about being judged.
Yeah.
I think I also was tired of talking about something that I wanted to move on from.
Mm.
So maybe talking about it kept me stuck in the past and was ready to just kind of live.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know if I wanted to do traditional or personal. Like I kept waffling on like how do I want to release this big thing? It felt like heavy. And then one day, like 3 years have passed with this manuscript that's like burning a hole in my pocket kind of thing. And I thought, what are you waiting for? Who cares? Like, you didn't write it to make money, just share it.
Yeah.
So I saw someone using Substack. I went and looked at it. I was like, this is pretty cool. It's kind of like a blog again, but you can connect to podcasts, you can share photos, you can push it to social if you wanted to, and then you can monetize it.
Mm.
So I thought, okay, that's cool. I'm just going to release my book here. And so I'm just going to put a chapter at least once a week and just share it here. And then if it helps somebody, great. If I make money, great. And I told my community about it. I've been doing it. Sometimes I put a photo with it, sometimes I don't. I don't even really market it, and I'm already making over $1,000 on it, and um,
Fun.
yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So I think,
It feels like when you talk about it, it feels like what I imagine the feeling of you when you were starting your blog.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it feels.
Yeah.
And then that's what I'm chasing. It's going back to that feeling of just being authentic, doing it
Yes.
because you love it,
Right.
not doing it for a certain outcome,
Yep.
letting the outcome, releasing that from your hands, and just having confidence or faith even that it'll find the people that it's meant to find.
Yes.
It seems very counterintuitive to a business plan,
Yeah.
but that's absolutely what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then with the whole SEO, SGO stuff, people are able to find it through AI.
Mhm. Can we expand on that a little bit more
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Just for, those that aren't super familiar with Substack, SEO, SGO, can you
Yeah.
kinda educate us a little on that?
So search generative optimization and search engine optimization, SGO, SEO, like the typical marketer would try, like on your website, try to put the most commonly searched terms in your website so that when someone is trying to find a videographer, they find you.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the old way of doing it. So now I'm sure if you search something, you probably read the AI results first.
Mhm.
So that's search generative, that gets a generative search result. So that's where Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT or these tools that people are using,
Yeah.
um, that are AI, they are mainly pulling from sites that have a lot more juice, like
Yeah.
Wikipedia or Substack, because Substack is a domain, technically like substack.com, and then you have some type of slug with that.
Yeah.
Uh, so a lot of people are using it. And so even Instagram is one of them too. Like Meta is now pulling into SGO results. So now there's a shift
Mhm.
where people are able to find you if you're just consistently posting on Substack or Instagram, but they're only going to really find you if you're writing text. So
Okay.
now long form blogging,
Uh-huh.
which was originally how well, at least I started
Yeah.
back in the day, that is actually becoming a superpower. So if you can write a long caption on Instagram or on TikTok, really on TikTok, it's really taking off.
Okay.
And then that's just exclusive of that platform, but like Substack, people are going to be able to find you on your topic. So, and then it's really important to talk about that one topic consistently
Yep.
so that they find you and associate you with like golf polos.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm realizing if I do have a passion and a desire to help other women going through divorce and going through that career transformation. So I do want to be found for that. And
Yeah.
so I realize now it was really great that I never published my book with anybody else. And
Yes.
it's really great that I did it on Substack of all places versus even Amazon,
Yeah.
because I can always go to Amazon and make a book, but because I'm sharing it there and I'm doing it in batches, not even all in one post, but in
Right.
batches, it's going to create more traffic and more visibility for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So just something I happen to fall into. Obviously, it wasn't a strategy. I just kind of
Yeah.
got tired of holding on to it.
Totally.
But I was like, oh, well, shoot, I just happen to be, again, at the right place at the right time doing
Mhm.
something. And
For
then if I want
sure.
to do a podcast, I can just connect it to that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge, huge. Divine timing. There's a
Mm,
reason.
yes,
There's a reason why you
there
held
is.
on for those years. Okay, so talking about mentorship and coaching and your
Mhm.
passion for helping other women, um, I'm curious to know through your coaching work and involvement with Fresh Start, you've supported women doing during these major transition. What are some themes that consistently emerge in those conversations?
I think a consistent problem that women face is just financial independence
Yeah,
and wanting to be able to earn enough to not worry.
yeah,
And I think that especially as if you're a mother, that's all you're really thinking about. And it is very hard if you have chosen at some point to focus most of your time, probably because childcare costs are also extremely high,
right.
to focus on your kids. And then let's say you lose someone, you're a widow, or you go through a divorce, or a health issue happens. Like I had a friend who had to go back to the workforce because her husband got really sick.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, they're at such a disadvantage because they've been out of the workforce that they're also lacking also on skills. So upskilling is really important. So it's not even just it's self-esteem. It's just lack of knowledge of how do I do something, the lack of skills that you lose very quickly
Right.
more than ever right now, um, and financial literacy too. So I think that was the one thing, like with Fresh Start, they have their mission is purely to focus on career development,
Yeah.
emotional and mental wellness and support. And then, also like if you have any legal needs that are very real, to really focus on that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is just starting with like, do you have shelter? Then do you have financial means? Like, how's your health? And then building to the final tip of the pyramid, which is power
Mhm.
and freedom to make choices based on what you want for your life, not what you need to do.
Right.
I'm actually not even quite at that tip of the pyramid myself.
Yeah.
I'm still at a place as a single parent where my son is on a drug trial, so I need certain health insurance and things like that. Where, yes, I love my job and I'm really thankful, but I don't have the freedom to necessarily choose differently.
Yeah.
So that's a story consistently women face.
Yeah.
And they also face a lot of shame and guilt
Mhm.
around it, around the fact that they put their kid in childcare, or around the fact that they can't be an entrepreneur, or they, just not having freedom to choose, especially in the world of social media where it seems like everybody gets to do, go to brunch and go to their yoga class, and
Totally.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all the work that you do supporting so many women. I can imagine it's probably therapeutic and it supports you just as much as
Oh
it
yeah.
supports them.
I would just spend my if I could have a dream job,
Yeah.
like I live in a dream job, don't get me wrong, but if money wasn't an object at all, I would just do this
Yeah.
and just try to help women. That's all I would do.
I feel that. You pour so much into other women and other people. What's some advice that you find yourself giving to yourself over and over
Mm.
again?
Hmm. You don't need to apologize for things you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. I think I still struggle with knowing what I want. It's not a question I ask myself really at all.
Yeah.
I'm always asking what everyone else wants. I think it's so easy to lose yourself in any kind of relationship,
Yeah.
motherhood, work, partnership. It's so I think the advice I'm trying to implement in my life is just being really diligent about, Alex, did you take care of yourself today? Did you drink water today? This is self-care for me today. I prioritize myself to be here today. And I won't lie, a little bit feels guilty or like this urgency of like, no, I got to get back to my desk and help everybody. I'm like, no, I can do this. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. That's my weakness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Because when you do find those boundaries and those priorities too, I mean, it makes you show up so much better in all the other buckets of your life, right?
It does. I think the fear is that if I start prioritizing myself or I drop the ball, that I'll fail at something or I'll lose my job, or I've lost my job um 3 times in 10 years because the economy is just so volatile.
Mhm.
And it's a very real thing to constantly feel like you have to perform and earn your place.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yeah. You're doing an amazing job, Alex.
Thank you. Trying.
I Okay, I know I'm getting the cue to wrap this up, but I'm like, there's so much more I want to dive into. But I do want to touch on, motherhood,
Yeah.
leadership and motherhood. What do you hope your children learn from watching you and your career unfold?
I hope they learn that they can do anything. I really do believe that. It was like a sentiment that I think growing up, or like I think got like slammed, was like, no, I really do think that having a limitless mindset is important. It's when we make small, tiny agreements with ourselves that over time we've started to put ourselves into a box or create limitations. Like, oh, I could never, like, I, this is dumb, but I had this goal of I wanted to out earn my ex-husband.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it.
Yes.
But I remember I had a moment where I'm like, Alex, that's not possible. Like, he has a master's degree and even out of the work. Like, and but I did that. And I had done it. And um, I think, I think we just make some of these tiny little agreements with ourselves that like hold us back.
Yep.
It's really our own selves that we're warring against. And so that's what I want them to learn. I'm like, you are actually probably your biggest barrier. Teaching a mindset of positivity and this limitless potential. And I also think that there is truth to certain talents and gifts that people have. And instead of doubling down on what you're passionate about, I would actually say double down on what you're really good at.
Yeah.
That comes naturally to you. That's effortless.
Yeah.
You can still have your passions,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that that's something where I notice my daughter is extremely creative and I really push that in her versus like me growing up. It was always like this battle, right? But with her, just art, music, and then I watch her brother try to sing and clap. I'm like, no, you did not. You did not get that one. But he's really good in other areas. So I
Yeah.
think just also realizing know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Know yourself, prioritize yourself, double down on that, and don't play small.
Yeah.
And that fear keeps a life small. So what are you afraid of? And try to learn how to do things scared anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Lean into that positivity and possibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really good. I love that. You're a great mama.
Thank you.
Okay, to wrap things up, let's talk about, what's next for you. I know we've already talked about like Substack and all of that, but I would love to hear, for those that maybe have been following your journey, listening in, for those that are just now getting introduced to you, what's next? What's on the horizon? And then we can go into how people can stay connected to you.
Okay. I mean, what's next for me is a vacation.
Yes.
So I'm keeping it real, y'all. I need a vacation. So that's what's next. It's happening on Wednesday. Very excited about it.
Yeah. Where are you going?
It's just San Diego. I just
go.
need some beach
For
time.
your toes in the sand.
Yes, waves, salty air.
Yes.
What's next for me is I I haven't been able to because I think starting a new job is really a time where I've just focused and poured myself into Bad Birdie. But as things are getting, kind of shaping things and running really smoothly, I want to get back to talking a little bit more about career development for women. And I'm always sharing on Substack, as you know, the journey that I went on, but going double clicking into things that I've learned in the career and just being able to help support women. That's what I'll be doing. So I started dabbling in podcasting and it's really hard. So I'd really like to edit the episodes I've recorded and then release those. So I would say, yeah, Substack. I'm just doubling down in that area.
So good.
And then I think for me too, I want to keep. I need to like redo my house. Like I kind of want to get back into. I've stopped posting my outfits and things for a while. I want to get back into that. I miss it.
Yes.
It's just a place of joy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Creating
And
space.
women always ask me like, "Where'd you get that?" or whatever. I like being able to tell them like, "Oh, get this. Like I found these awesome track pants at Target that looked so elevated." I still love
Yes.
that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not be paid for partnerships. I don't want to do that. Don't come
Yeah.
after me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I have to say before this interview, I was on your Pinterest and kinda diving through everything. I was like, "Oh, I'm, like, feeling a little inspired. Like, I need to pull some different things out of my wardrobe."
Yeah. Oh, Pinterest is
So,
so good,
it's so
guys.
fun.
It's coming back around.
Yeah. I think so too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Well, where can people follow along? How can they find you?
Alex Vailas.
Uh,
Or actually, it's no, that's wrong. It's
oh,
wrong. That's wrong.
got
Scratch that. It's
it.
actually I couldn't get that one on Instagram and or on TikTok, so I had to do Alexandra
Yes.
Vailas, Vailas.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing with us today.
Thanks
Can't
for
wait to see
having
what's
me.
next.
Thank you. I'm so glad I got to be here. This was
So
good for my soul.
grateful. Yeah, so grateful for you.